Now, respect is an important quality in life. It could save you from a lot of different things, even the things that may not even be dangerous to you for real, like ridicule. So I came across a TikTok video from this guy right here, controversial. What's my boy name? Shannon. And it's funny because I just had a conversation. Well, not just, it's a little while ago now, but we had about a 15-minute conversation on the phone after I responded to something that he said in this video. So now I'm about to go through the entire video, but see, I spoke to him, so, and it was it was a respectful conversation, and he was able to handle criticism and being wrong in what he was saying, but we still have to talk about it. So it's not so much heat for him per se, because we talked about it. So I'm not about to just talk about this guy like I don't got his number. But we are about to talk about what he said and put my own little sauce on it and give some insight to the particular conversation at hand. So, let's go ahead and put this up a little bit bigger so you can read and see, and follow along with what's going on here. So,
I'm finna humble you, boy.
he didn't humble him.
I'm finna humble you. Please tell me how black women are destroying themselves.
Now, I wanna interject myself into the conversation here. Now, I don't think, listen, hold on. Now, the answer to that question is this. It is not a race thing. It's not a race thing at all. It's women in general. Listen, this is the answer to that question. Being a woman isn't celebrated anymore. It's no such thing as being on your grown woman stuff, being on your grown woman shit. Like, it's no such thing as that. Like, the things that women do isn't viewed as being a great woman. I'm talking, women did this. Now, this is masculine energy. All women don't have that. All women don't talk like that. So women are destroying themselves by being arrogant. You understand what I'm saying? And that's two different answers now that you have. I was only going to give you one, but now you have two. The idea of masculine energy, and we had a conversation about this, but the idea of masculine energy, when men talked about it, is different than when women talk about it. Because when women talk about it, women, take the steam and the greatness away from being a damn woman. There's no such thing as being on your grown woman shit. If you're a woman you're a single woman and you got some kids, a single mother who pays her own bills, to take care of her kids, and got a job and all that stuff, that's not being on your grown woman shit. That's being on your masculine. That's what they said. And then that's what y'all are letting people say for you. That's really what it is. You're letting women speak for you that don't need to be speaking. And like I told him, I feel bad for the men who think women online are a representation of women, because that means you don't really know women. It's weird. So the answer to the question is social media. And I just gave you a third answer, but that one ties into the first two. So we need to get back into celebrating women being women. It's not masculine energy. You're not on your masculine, you're on your feminine. You can pay bills and take care of kids and be a woman while doing it. It's not masculine energy. It's not. Because it's going to continue to be men who attack that guy. That masculine energy dude is always going to get talked about. Nobody likes him. Men don't like him. Women don't like him. So as long as women are letting that guy exist, meaning their masculine energy inside of themselves, he's going to get talked about online all the time. So the answer to that question, that's how the women that are destroying themselves, that's how their arrogance, and then the fact that nobody celebrates being a woman. So women are literally destroying themselves by not even praising the title. And that's why Matt Walsh can walk around asking, what is a woman? We've let political science now dictate how you can talk about being a woman. You want to talk about protecting women? Let's get on a conversation with a person talking about a woman being cis. No, she's not. She's just a woman, bro. So, like, that's the answer to the question. It's very direct, too. There's no celebration of being a woman. It's all masculine energy in women. It's some type of weird ass competition, which we had a conversation about, and we're going to get to further on in this video.
Black men not even in the households to raise their own daughters.
Yes, they are, though. And here's the thing about it.
Okay? And let me tell you something, bro. Black men should be thankful that black women have stayed.
This is when it went off the rails. I didn't like this comment. This is the comment that I responded to.
Submitted to them this long. Because I'm going to ask a question. And it might be controversial. It might go viral. I don't care.
It went viral. And he ended up dialing it back because he understood after getting pushback and ridicule, and he respected his elders. Like, he talked to me like an elder because he understood. Like I said at the beginning of this video, respect goes a long way. I did a whole nother video about what he said to another person, and there was no respect shown. But he understood that he messed up, so he was able to handle the correction.
Tell me why black women should stay submitted to a group of men that couldn't even lead them out of slavery.
Now, that's the dumbest analogy that you could possibly give in this conversation. And like I explained to him, it's levels to why. The one that's the most troubling, even you could take slavery, race, and everything out of that. The most troubling reason for that particular comment he just made is that we live in an era of people who don't even understand submission. So you'll hear women talk about submitting like it's actually slavery. Like, women, it's almost like they never even had a boyfriend or anything. They're like, yo, am I supposed to walk around with my head down and not talk and all of that stuff? Like, when you hear women now talk about submission, you start hearing stuff like that. So the conversation itself gets confused. People don't even know what it is. To where, like, you can't start directly relating slavery to submitting to a man. Like, it's not the same thing. And like I asked him, I said, man, listen, what's the alternative? Submitting to the slave master? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird. So, like, you leave, for me, hearing that comment, you leave women no options. If you saying that if they shouldn't pick men off your reason, then they definitely shouldn't go to the oppressor. And then it brings up the conversation of protection. Because if you saying that black men can't protect women from white men, then why are they acting like they need protection from us? Because listen, because what you're saying is women are saying they need protection from black men, which is weird. And then, but you saying black men need protection from white men. So the answer to the question is weird, because especially since we're not living in the same era and generation of people. So because some people in the 1800s didn't do something, that now so women in this era not supposed to do something. And then, but when Kanye said what he said about slavery, it sounded like everybody was against that. But now it sounds like you saying that everybody should have did that just so women now could submit to men. It's kind of weird. But like I said, he understood the error in his ways. I talked to him. But it's still a weird analogy to give to women that don't really get it. And like I said to him, and like he gets and he understood and he knows because he's married that a lot of women, and y'all will say however y'all want to dress it up for the right man, if a guy's paying a bill, whatever the hell you need to do. But women submit to men. And it's not a slave master. It's you. Listen, women understand having a man. Only single ones don't. And then the problem is now we have single women who didn't even have a dad either. It's a whole different vibe being around people who were raised with two parents. And like I said before, see, this is where the disconnect comes in at. And it affects dating. This is how it affects dating. See, people always make these cliche conversations, but they never get direct with the problem. So you'll say, oh, the single parent home, single parent home, single parent home, single parent homes. The direct result of, for men and women, this is everybody. The direct result, and this is, and we'll get into it for the men as well. The direct result of single parent homes is people do not understand the male voice of correction. For men, let's start with men. For men, this is how. See, we're talking about, oh, women raised in kids raised in the single parent homes go to jail this amount of times. 70%. Right. Because those boys don't listen to nobody. They don't have a man telling them nothing. So the only man gonna be the police. And then they ain't gonna listen to them. So there's nobody to correct them other than mama. But mama always in the world. So where's the male voice they listen to for correction? He doesn't exist. And it'll lead them down a path of, I'll do what the hell I want to do. I'm the man. I'm the man. And for women, it's the same thing. Because now when it comes to dating, you never had a man tell you no or no. And then that's the end of it. So when you hear submitting, you're thinking of something it's foreign to you. It's foreign. You never were around a man to tell you that is not how it's about to go. And then you just had to be quiet. A lot of women have never had to be quiet when a man is speaking. Like, y'all be quiet. And I use this analogy all the time because it's the greatest one to use in this modern society because I watched it happen in my face. Y'all really do understand it because y'all showed me with the tool out challenge. It was the tool out challenge of the women who were about to do it, and then their man walked in, and then they started talking about making a sandwich. That means you know to move differently when you got a man and when you don't. So stop acting like submission is some slavery. It means you just moving differently because you got a man. Y'all all know that. But y'all don't all know that because it's turned into this conversation, which is weird. And I didn't like it. And I addressed it with him. But like I said, this ain't nothing. It is personal, but it's bigger than him. But like I told him, this goes beyond men and women. This is now a black culture thing when you start saying that. Like when you say that, you just attack black culture as a whole.
And that's coming from a black man saying that.
And that makes it worse.
That's coming from a black man saying that.
And it made it worse.
Homeboy. Tell me why black women should stay submitted to a group of men who couldn't even lead them out of slavery.
And then now listen, now I got to get you again. And then in the comment section, they started talking about Harriet Tubman. I got to light up for that. I got to light up for that. In the comment section, he said Harriet Tubman led a bunch of slaves. What man did that? This is bad faith. This is a bad faith argument. Like, we're using slavery to now attack men in this generation. Weird science. That's how I view it. That's weirdo. You can't do that. I couldn't let him get away with this. And like I said, he dialed it back. He understood he was wrong for doing this. But it took somebody to really tell him. He was in the comments arguing with people. He tried it with me. But I'm kind of like a brick wall a little bit. When I care enough to make you listen to me, it's hard to get around me. Like, I could have started disrespecting him and calling him out his name. Then the conversation just never would have been. He called me. He asked for my number and talked to me. That you never would have do that with a person. Call you out your name. You're a coon and sambo, and you sound like a, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do that with him. Because I follow his stuff. I didn't just find this video because he said that. It was on my For You page. And this ain't for me. I'm against this. So I had to. I had to go like, yo, what?
And yet we call ourselves leaders, protectors, providers. Nigga, where's the history of us leading, protecting, and providing?
Everywhere. And I gave it to him too. I told him about it. Because, listen, this is what you got to understand. The protection was from them. So the history is people protecting themselves. It's always been a generation of it, like, just from all angles. Like, if you go to like the Panthers, you know what I'm saying? That before that, I gave you Nat Turner, I gave you Toussaint Louverture, I gave you Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the whole Haiti Revolution. And then it's like, see, that's what I'm saying. You can't say certain stuff because it's a lot of people who don't have respect for the culture. So there's women who said, well, look what they did to Haiti after that. Okay, well, look what they did to Haiti after that. But they led them out of a slave revolution. That's not Toussaint Louverture's fault. Because what if I use your analogy against you? Look what happened to our culture after Harriet Tubman led them out of slavery. Does she got to hold an L for that? So that's weird. Again, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't appreciate this analogy. It was a weird one, you know?
Don't worry, I'll wait. TikTok, don't take the sound down. Y'all let men get on this app and bash women all day. Let a real man check men.
See, that is not checking. See, listen. Now we got to get. See, now you got to get to the star of the show, because that's not checking men. And see, and like I told him, TikTok tried to save you from yourself and from me, because if you would have had that sound, because if he said that, and TikTok was like, no, that's offensive. No, they're gonna drag you. No, that's right. That's cooning. That's they're not gonna like that. Dr. Real's gonna see that. And he's going to do a video, and he's going to do a couple videos. Because he's going to go live on his page, and he's going to respond to you on TikTok, and he's going to do 2 videos on TikTok and a live on his page. Don't say that. You're going to have to apologize if you say that, which he ended up having to do. So TikTok tried to save him. And then what he do? Say it again and reworded it. Come on now. Like, when somebody pushes you away, like that's a sign for you to stay away. But you came back and said that again. And now I heard you. Come on, fam. This is bad faith. This is a bad faith argument for the modern culture of dating, to say men didn't lead you out of slavery, so how are you going to lead them now? Because especially since, guess how? Guess what? Aha. Taste the soup. Taste the soup, bro. Because now we've reduced leadership to money. So all you have to do is pay the bills. So it's simple. But the problem there is this. For the people who say, oh, these men ain't leading, they're not taking care of the home and paying the bills, that just directs it to one person. So that means if I'm paying your bill, that means what? I'm only leading you. So that means you only see leadership in one form, the person that can lead you, which means we have a selfish culture of people talking about leaders. When really, when it boils down to it, a leader, you don't know Malcolm X's net worth. You don't know Martin Luther King's net worth. The leader's giving you the information. And 9 times out of 10, they're telling you what not to do. Who do you lead? A lot of people lead their children, right? Your children move on their own. And when they start doing something they not supposed to do, that's when you start talking to them. A lot of people, you don't say a lot of stuff to your kids while they're there until they start doing something dumb. Yo, don't go outside with that coat on. Yo, get away from that stove. Yo, don't play by that because you might fall and bump your head on the side of that thing. You don't have to tell them how to play. You got to tell them how not to play. But the problem, now let's dial it back to what I said about being raised in a home. A lot of people weren't raised around that consistently from a man, though. So now when you're an adult and someone is saying, don't, you're not supposed to be doing that. Don't say that. Don't act like that. You can't tell me what to do. You guys are just being insecure. We live in an era now. If you don't let your woman wear anything, you're insecure as a man. So if I don't let you come outside with 2 Band-Aids right here on your stuff as your husband, I'm insecure. It's me. Not you with the Band-Aids on the titties and just a thong and 2 Band-Aids. Not that. That's not something that you're not supposed to be doing as a wife. It's me is insecure for not letting you do it. This is the era that we live in, and these are the people talk about submission. And I'm the person not listening to all of that stuff. Like I told him, I don't take all of the internet serious. Anybody that does that is so foolish. You setting yourself up. If you look online and think that's women, yeah, right. You really would hate women. Men really would hate women if they look online and think that's how women are. No, they're not. They ain't even like that. On no level. On no level. Like I be around women. They spend money. They do things like all this men's supposed to do. Yeah, men's supposed to do all this shit. Oh, okay, cool. But women spend money. And if you don't know ones that do, then you need to find some new women. Because women spend money all the time. So like, but so I figured this was kind of foolish on his behalf. But like I said, salute to him for understanding correction and accepting it. Because he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And this is just one of those modern conversations that people confuse because they don't understand. But I try not to even feed into certain stuff, but I had to respond to this because it's like, dog, why is this a talking point? And it's like I said, this is not the first time I've had to address someone doing this. And I feel like it's weird on the other end because they're not, listen, because slavery, when you do this, you take the accountability off the enslaver. Because a lot of horrible things happened during slavery. And you say, oh, well, men didn't lead them away from that. And like I gave an analogy, I said, what if I reverse this? It would sound like the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life. That would be like a man saying, why would I date a woman? Why would we date these slave women when they were in breeder camps just giving it up to any guy? You know, there were breeder camps back then, right? Where they had people specifically breeding. They were objectifying them. I guarantee you they was fine as hell. So they got the beautiful women to breed with the strong men that looked like slaves they wanted. Wouldn't that be ridiculous to say, why would we date women that used to just breed with anybody? Wouldn't that be stupid? I think so. I think that'd be a dumb analogy. And it's the equivalent of what you did. Especially when you ignore all the people who fought their life, put their life on the line for freedom. Even the partially black people like Abraham Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of those things where I don't want to see people talking about slaves didn't submit. And that's a whole different conversation that I did. I did another video about this before when I asked people, do you want to see another slave movie? It's not submission. People don't really want to see it. People don't want to see it. So this whole conversation is weird for single people to make because a lot of people just don't understand the root of why this is a weird conversation. And directly relating slavery to anything in our culture is probably going to lead you down the wrong path. If you're trying to make a real connection with people, why are you talking about what Harriet Tubman did? So now men now, because if that's the case, there's so many different ways to just rebut that and just make it sound dumb. Like it's weird. But like I said, I ain't going to put too much sauce on it pertaining to him because I spoke to this man. But yeah, but that about that, he was wrong. And it's we got to understand this. And this probably the last thing I'm gonna say. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. It's hard to take women saying that they're being bashed online serious for two reasons. Number one, it's actually three reasons, but the last two are like together. The number one reason is because women have smart mouths online. They're really slick with their tongue to say that they're the ones being bashed. Women attack men's sexuality. Women attack men's just on all levels. Y'all say things that are out of order. Y'all disrespect the dead to prove your point. Men don't do that. It's like y'all have reached another level with it. So that's reason number one. Reason number 2 and 3 is because y'all don't correct the bad behavior within women, but men do. So much so that we now see women coming to the defense of the term Pookie and Ray Ray. Why? Because men talk about them dating those. But guess what? That's accountability. That's ridiculing the men. That's saying the men are a certain type of man. That's bad. But see, the worst thing you could be as a woman is a pick-me. Y'all don't have that level of accountability for each other. So that's the reason why when y'all say y'all are being bashed, it's taken with a grain of salt. Because y'all don't even have the common decency to point out the bad human beings of you, so much so that you attack men for doing it. The Pookie and the Ray Ray. That's the horrible representation of men. What's the horrible representation of women? Nothing. Agreeing with the man. So that's weird. And I'm going to keep repeating that until somebody understands it and hears it like, you know what? He's right. And that is kind of crazy, ain't it? Yeah, it is. So it needs to stop. So, we can't keep making these. This is a straw man argument. It really was. Because the guy was asking him, he said, women are destroying themselves, right? And he started talking about slavery. So the straw man argument was faulty and disrespectful to Black culture itself. And my problem is, why are people co-signing this? Like, why are people co-signing this? And it goes back to what I say all the time. Anything that sounds like a diss to men, women are behind. But then y'all say men are bashing y'all. Y'all are not really getting bashed. Y'all not really getting bashed. So let's stop with the bad faith arguments, please, because they make the culture look bad. And more than anything, all of this stuff, people say, oh, men are always arguing online with all this stuff. Listen, none of that makes the culture look bad. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I want you to tell me about the problem, I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I want you to show me about the problem-solving skills of any other race of people, the problem-solving skills. And then you tell me how they're any better and we should be doing what they're doing. Oh, as to why we shouldn't be doing what we're doing. We just have an inherent insecurity about ourselves as a culture. But it leads to stuff like this. Competition on who freed more slaves, meaning that's why men can't be leaders now. Weird science, okay? That's what that is. And it has that type of stuff has to stop. And I'm here to put a stop to it. So that's pretty much it for now. Y'all be good.